Welcome to the Legion Outriders podcast, a member of the Radio Free Tattooing Network.
You must unlearn what you have learned.
Your source for the latest Legion news, opinion, and analysis.
You will never find the more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
John Archiquette.
Will somebody get this big walking carpet out of my way?
Matt Turner.
I'm not afraid.
And Joshua Gray.
You will be.
What's going on, Outriders? John, Josh, and Matt hanging out with you guys here on the Legion Outriders podcast. What's going on, guys?
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Matt's always so subdued.
I'm happy.
I'm some dude?
Well, you're some dude who's subdued.
Oh, okay. How's it going?
It's going well. Not bad.
You know what? Thank you, by the way.
For what?
It's going well.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
good
going
grammar
goodlier.
is a good thing. Oh, it's going good. No, it's not. It's going well. Stop that.
Oh,
Starting out strong.
Right.
All right.
Yeah,
dark
yeah.
side.
Yeah.
the shot collar. Put it back on.
No.
You know,
We
grammar
talked about
Nazi isn't a term of endearment, right?
No.
Okay.
Grammar, some very fine people.
Yeah.
Oh, we got some good
Grammar
stuff.
philanthropists.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so we got some good stuff to talk about this week. We got some Star Wars news. Josh and I got a game in last week. Got to test out Jin and the Pathfinders.
Ugh.
We're going to
Gem in the holograms.
talk about how that went, and also I'm going to talk about some other things I want to do with Jin's and Pathfinder's list, because I think there's a lot of some cool combinations to work with. And we're also going to take a look back, or jump in the time machine, go back a year to our very first podcast, and we're going to take a look at some of our predictions.
Is it a hot tub time machine?
We can make it a hot tub
Can it
time
be?
machine.
I really want a hot tub time machine.
We
That'd
got
be
those
awesome.
little, I think there's a little kiddie pool outside. We can probably fill that thing up.
Maybe, yeah.
Just all hop in it.
What do you say? What do you say, Matt?
I think I need a couple
Wanna
beers
get in the hot tub?
before- Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Get in the hot tub. Ha!
I mean, I can make it bubble.
I wouldn't put your face in that water, man.
I wasn't talking about my face.
Oh.
Can I put my face in that water?
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna take a look at some of the hot takes that we may have had a year ago from our first episode and see how well those have
Smells
fared.
like hot dogs.
Spoiler alert: they don't fare very well.
Yeah. That tweet did not age well.
The cringe is with us.
But first, let's take a little look at the Star Wars news. What do we have for it, Matt?
Well, we've been getting a lot of interesting previews for Edge of the Galaxy for those Disney interested folks.
Yeah, Nerdist had a really cool article
Yeah.
about how the shops and the stores are going to be set up there. They're going to have like a lightsaber shop and a droid shop, but all of the attendants, but all of the attendants there, instead of just being like cash register jockeys, right?
Yeah.
They're all going to be cast members. So
Everybody at Disneyland's a cast member.
Well, they're going to be cast members, like in the sense that they're part of the experience.
Like
you're not going. It's not.
Gotcha.
Hey, I'm Joe from Boynton Beach. It's hey, I'm the owner of this droid shop. Welcome to my establishment. Like it's all cosplay.
So I get to experience the real.
What's Nubian? Huh? Yeah.
I was gonna say I can actually go buy a child slave from Watto. Is that an experience I
He
can
didn't
relive?
buy it. He earned it in a bet.
That's true. So Disney's cool with me gambling for child slaves.
Yes.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Las
Red,
Vegas. Las
the
Vegas
mother.
hasn't even expanded to that yet. All right, so we got that. Anything else from Star Wars?
Well, it turns out. Oh, did you have one other?
Well, I was
thing?
going to say, remember, a Jedi never uses his power for personal gain unless you're gambling for the child slave.
Okay,
and
that's
you use it to turn the die. Yeah.
Just caveats.
Honestly,
Right.
that's yeah. That's an obligation you're gambling for at that point. You got to be cramping the Jedi style a little bit, bringing children's along with you.
Did he have to pay? Did
Especially that child.
Did the Force pay child support to Shmi? I'm just curious here.
No, because she's not a person.
Oh, that's right.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah.
Was that a...
Legally,
Oh.
on Tatooine, they're not
Yeah.
people; they're property.
Okay.
That's the horrors of slavery, sir.
Oh, well.
Trying to say it was a good institution. I know you want to go buy a child, but still. Jeez.
And a side note,
Yeah.
I hate sand.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Just
who
letting you know.
doesn't?
Well, we live in Las Vegas, so
I know.
that's kind of a problem. All right, so what else we got from Star Wars news?
Well, there's some interesting stuff coming for some people that might be going to Star Wars Celebration.
Gee, and who's going to Star Wars Celebration?
Why, me, of course.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You mean that Sarastro painting thing.
Oh,
at,
I do mean
Celebration.
that. I do.
That's exactly what we mean,
sitting in
and
there.
nothing else.
I'm like, hey, Sarastro, I know somebody who really likes your stuff. I don't paint myself, but I'm just going to sit here and suck up all your time because he's not here to actually ask you anything.
By the way,
Yeah.
take a good audio recorder and some mics and get us an interview.
Actually, that would be awesome.
I was going to try to get his, at least like a email from him or something, because I know we tried to early on maybe get him to interview. about
Yeah,
his
but
channel,
that's before. That was like, episode 2 when nobody cared about us.
When he was still making videos, though.
Right, well,
I
there's
haven't
that
seen anything
too.
from him for a while.
That's true.
But no, I will absolutely try and chat with all the people at Fantasy Flight. I'm glad they're going to have like a booth and all that kind of stuff. I
Yeah,
knew that
that's gonna be cool.
We're going to have a small presence there, but it sounds like it's going to be a lot better. But mostly, boom, Vader model. Yeah,
Oh, wait, I thought we were going to talk about the Scarif board.
Scarif board. Yeah.
Well, that is pretty cool too, though, because I mean, they're actually gonna have like a participation thing where everyone gets to
Right.
make part of the board.
How are you doing a Scarif board with no shore troopers?
I want to.
Ooh. Well, we got the Pathfinders and Jin already.
Yeah.
We got
How you
Krennic and Death Troopers.
Poorly, that's how. But they'll just be Death Troopers and Krennic. It'll be fine.
That,
I wonder
What
if-
I want to do is show up, because I've been playing since the game came out, just show up to one of those demo games and absolutely lose my ass to anybody that walks up to the table. I'll figure it out. It'll happen.
Yeah. Well, just take. I hear HH12s are good.
Yeah, they are. They are. So we still haven't seen them in the full. I think you're leaping ahead a little bit.
Maybe I might be.
But I'm absolutely going to have my Legion Outriders T-shirt on as well.
good. You can represent us when you're getting destroyed
Yes,
at demo
they're
games.
like,
Right.
Make
Yeah.
sure not to listen to
Make
these
sure
guys.
you put a sign on the back. That
Speaking
says,
of Legion Outriders T-shirts.
are you going to go 0-4 at the demo games too?
Yes, absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah,
Awesome.
No, for sure. That's what I was saying. That was how I'm going to lose to people that have no grasp of how the game is played. I'm gonna figure it out, man. I'm gonna spend some time on
You're
this.
going to do what I did on my first demo game and roll white dice for the Stormtroopers defense.
Yeah, I
Oops.
remember that.
Yeah.
Feel free to keep doing that.
I don't know how to. I never learned to read or tell
is that
colors.
true?
No.
Everything
All right.
except that learning to read. But so we have our Legion Outriders shirt now up for pre-order on power9games.com. The link's a little broken right now, but if you actually search in Outrider T-shirt, it pops right up. But yeah, it's really annoying.
It's up for pre-order. You can't buy it or nothing.
Well, so at the very
But it's
bottom
up.
of the page, so www.power9games.com, you can click on it's like Outcast or Outrider Central.
Oh, okay.
And it's going to have stuff that we populate for swag that we sell. T-shirts are the only thing in there right now, but it's got the different sizes. But for some reason, the Outrider Central button isn't working. I've contacted the web guys and seeing what they're going to do about it. But if you actually go to the search bar and type in
Outriders.
Outriders T-shirt,
Sure.
yeah, whatever, they pop right up. So.
Okay.
And we should be starting to send them out in about 2 weeks. So
Super.
jump on there now. We've got about a pretty modest run, only about 20 shirts up for sale right now of various sizes. So
Nice. Okay, well, that'll
Seed money
last
for a
us
bigger
little
run.
bit.
yeah, exactly. So I can
Either that or
fund
there's
my
about-
trips to go get exclusive Darth Vader sculpts.
Or that-
Yay!
No, I was gonna say,
If you're gonna use this, if you're gonna use that to go do that, you better be doing an interview while you're there.
Yeah, definitely.
Make it show business
Ha!
because
No,
there's no business
that's a tax write-off. Then.
like show business.
Okay.
Yeah,
But so I think the sculpt looks totally wizard.
like Space
Like a
Wizard.
Space Wizard, yeah.
Well, I mean, or just regular wizard.
Because,
But I'm very
because
excited.
Vader's got his hand up and going like Wingardium Leviosa to the rocks.
Yes.
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 See, Harry Potter joke.
You're a
Look at that.
wizard, Anakin.
Space wizards. Yes.
Anyway,
You're a wizard,
it's an awesome
Annie.
sculpt.
Yeah, I really like it.
I'm really
I'm going to
happy
grab
about it.
as many as I can because I know everybody in here is going to want one. And maybe if I can get enough, we'll do maybe one as a giveaway for one of the Patreons.
That would be
I'm not promising. because
announcing
I
our new
know-
Outrider $100 level.
Yeah. I think that's just eBay.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what you're doing.
Support
at
the
this
show
point.
for $200 and get a sculpt. Yeah.
But yeah, like that is a awesome looking sculpt. I'm okay with the way they did this because GW has a habit of doing these event exclusive models that are, you can only get the model there, but then the rules are exclusive to that model. So if you want to play that,
Yeah. Thank God they're not doing that because That was a problem. In the new Transformers trading card game, there are 2 Autobots that you can only get if you had been at Comic-Con this last year. Literally the only way. They are not in the game otherwise. Alternate sculpts, I am absolutely fine with that.
Absolutely.
Give a little perk to people that are showing up to these kind of
And not
events.
just alternate sculpts.
Yeah.
Alternate alt art command cards.
Oh, yeah.
Alt art unit card. Alt art upgrade cards. Like, the whole thing is just blingy blingy swag. Like,
Yeah.
oh God. I will spend all the monies to get one of those.
Yeah, but it's not prohibitive for people who can't make it or can't afford to, to get something like that.
But you're
off
also
eBay.
not going to you're not going to line up across the table against somebody that went there or had a source or spent $300 on eBay and then turn around and get your face caved in because it's got special powers or something.
Yeah.
You know,
Nothing
this
silly
Vader
like-
moves the speed too.
This one surges.
Right? For both. Yeah.
That's a little bit too much.
Yeah, but
Well, it's the rocks. You know.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
this way you can show up with your fancy new Vader and be like, look at me, I'm so special and, rich, and then, end up getting shot because you think you're behind line of sight cover, but you're not.
Right. Well, that's like I showed up at an X-Wing, major X-Wing thing once, and my first round opponent dumps out a huge bag of exclusive dice. Now, the way X-Wing worked is the exclusive dice were only something you got if you placed high in regionals and worlds and stuff like that. And immediately I'm like Ralphie during A Christmas Story when he loses the hubcap full of nuts. He's like, oh, that's what's going through my mind as he's rolling out 30 of these dice, right?
Yeah.
Let me guess, he's an eBay warrior.
Yeah, he was.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I pretty much just face rolled him the entire way. and then I'm like, wow, nice dice. Where'd you get the dice? He's like, oh, I bought them off of eBay. I'm like, you piker.
Hey, man.
You should
Go for it.
You should have gone straight Greyjoy with it. Did you pay the iron price? Did you buy this with gold?
Right. But that's generally, for that kind of stuff, the exclusive rewards, I don't buy. For tournament success things, I won't buy them on eBay.
Yeah, that is
I only
little...
play them if I earn them.
Hey, but there are some people that are collectors.
Sure. No, I get
stuff,
that.
So, there was a couple of people who are like, "Oh, this sucks." We're over in Europe, and well, I mean, come on, we got to have some perks for living in the U.S., right?
Right.
I mean, come on.
But it's also Star Wars Celebration. It's
Yeah.
you never see people that are salty when there's a special Black Series toy at San Diego Comic-Con.
I got that one. It was great.
Exactly, right? It's I harbor no ill will towards you. I don't understand the salt over this model. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Not in this situation.
And trust me, I'm the guy that looks for things to be angry about. So,
You have
I
actually
mean,
really surprised me.
I know, right?
And raised my my esteem of you quite a bit. Because I
you know.
figure, if I can't get it, burn it all to the ground.
well,
type thing.
sure,
No,
but I mean,
Well, when you start with no esteem, low esteem is still better.
sure,
Okay,
right, yeah. It's like winning the taller than Mini-Me contest, But
R.I.P. Vern Troyer.
But, like I was telling John, I think you were busy with some other stuff. It's objectively looking at the model, I probably wouldn't play it competitively, just because of the height issues and
To be
line of
fair,
sight and stuff like that.
I play none of my models competitively, so this will fit right in.
Okay,
I'm very
I
excited.
wouldn't play it in a tournament setting. I'll play it in a casual game, sure.
Okay.
But I'm not going to roll into
that
a
extra
tournament.
quarter-inch of height. Wow.
Yeah,
I mean,
makes a difference.
I wonder. Yeah, I guess Vader's top of the helmet is kind of the height of the model of the original. So,
but I mean,
Where's his
if
Vader?
you look at it with
Yeah.
the lightsaber up there, you're taller than Wookiee warriors now, and those things aren't exactly easy to get, keep concealed.
Yeah.
I heard somebody say, and I'm not sure if this is true, but is this the "I'm surrounded by fear and dead men" pose? From
I
the
think
comic?
it is. Yeah,
Oh, that's dope.
it
If that
is. It's so cool, and it's a full resin model.
Oh,
Yeah, that was.
How much is this going to cost me? I don't think this is going to be a $12.95, is it?
No, I don't think it is.
Oh, okay. Rescinded. I'm not buying as many as I can. I'm buying as many as my wife will let me.
Well, we'll talk to her.
How's
after
that
this.
PayPal account looking?
Not good right now because we just paid for those T-shirts.
For all
to
those
get
T-shirts,
printed.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, hey, if you guys want to even have a chance of getting one to throw,
Introducing our new $200 Imperial Outrider level.
So
It's just going to go up as the, get it now, folks, because it's
Yeah.
just going up as the show goes on.
$300 minimum. Yeah.
So now one discussion that had thought had been put to rest, but apparently has now been resurrected because of this model now is, can you customize your bases? And, LJ, thankfully he's, super smart dude, jumped in front of it and has already said, hey, if you're going to Adepticon, like, send me, if you're questioning whether or not your custom base is going to be, tournament legal, send me a message with a picture and, we'll talk about it. I thought we had gotten rid of the whole, like, modeling for advantage discussion.
It takes, whirls and roundabouts,
and there's still people out there that are managing or modeling their ATSTs basically on the tippy toes with a straight leg all the way up, and it's like, what are you doing?
Thankfully, we didn't see any of those.
Goose stepping.
I would pay to see an ATST walk like that because it doesn't seem very tactical to me.
I mean, did you see Return of the Jedi? It's not exactly like those things
if you're
walking around
right
when tactically
trying to squish Ewoks as you tread through the that's maybe the waffle stomper maneuver, I think, is what they call that.
So last week, Josh and I managed to get in a quick game.
I saw a little bit of it. I was kind of peeking
game.
back and that bad.
No, it was just
it was you guys were out there for a while.
Yeah, it went full 6 rounds, and it wasn't decided till the end.
John, we know you were featuring some new guest stars. Josh, what did you have in your list?
It was actually just the standard Veers bikes.
You had the bikes?
Yeah, and I think the game's evolved to the point where just Veers doesn't have the horsepower to get it done. That's just me.
What about
no? You're right.
Veers and 6 DLT troopers? And
no,
bikes? No,
not even that. And snipers and bikes. It's just nah.
You need some Boba Fett punch in there?
Yeah, I think you need some Boba Fett punch, and you need, just Veers on his
like
own.
Strawberries.
Oh, yeah.
Boba Fett, the Kool-Aid man now. Busting through the walls. The flamethrower.
God, that'd be awesome. So I thought I had a decent strategy to deal with the advance. Having the bikes in there for some burst damage.
Sure.
He played a card that I didn't expect him to play first turn.
Actually, I do want to hear John's list before we get actually into the play-by-play.
Okay, so I brought the Leia Jin list that I talked about on the podcast last week. So it was basically Jin, Leia, the Pathfinders with POW. I believe it was 1 unit of commandos with a sniper and 3 trooper units and one fleet trooper, I believe.
We have Z6s and
Z6s. Yeah, let me give you the exact list that I had because it was a little bit. I think I switched it just a little bit from what I had said on the podcast, but the main punch of the list was the same. It was basically Jin, Pathfinders, and Leia. I think so. Basically, I was initially hoping to get the bid, and then changed some stuff on the list around, and Josh ended up getting the bid, which was okay because I think there's definitely, because of the ability to do the box grab trick, there's definitely some reason to have a significant bid for having Jin.
Yeah,
and my list was kind of geared specifically towards seeing how it would counter this list. So I knew he was going to run Jin and Pathfinders, so I came. He was rather upset when he's like, "Where's Recover the Supplies?" That's not in the list, dude. He's like, "That's not fair." I'm like, "Yes, it is."
All right, so I ran Jin with Duck and Cover, Strict Orders, Leia and Steam Leader, 6 core units, 1 fleet trooper with Scattergun and extra dude, 4 rebel troopers with Z6, and then 1 naked rebel trooper. Rebel Commandos with a sniper and duck and cover, and Rebel Pathfinders with POW and HQ uplink. So ran to exactly 800 points.
That's not much of a bid.
That's no bid at all. Yeah. And basically what I did is I dropped the Pathfinders and Jin close to his lines before he was able to fully fill out his lines, but not in his deployment zone, and I was behind line of sight block and cover. Mm-hmm. So in order for him to get to me, he would have to move to me.
Okay. Right. And I figured he was going to do something to try and activate both of those units first turn. And I'm not sure if I was expecting... And we're playing limited viz, so that took coordinated bombardment out of the list first thing. I don't know. Would you have played that first turn if you had that option?
Sorry. So limited visibility, long march... And
it was Major offensive.
Yeah,
Major offensive. Okay.
And key positions.
Key positions. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
So, would you have played
Coordinated bombardment
right away? First turn?
No, because you didn't have your snipers out.
Okay. So I went and I wanted to try and gimp the whatever he was going to do with activating the advanced units right away. So I rolled out the 2-pip and assigned orders to my bikes, which then allowed me to dump the activation tokens.
To pin them down?
Yeah,
or whatever?
pin down.
Yeah.
So the idea was to dump the tokens and then just leave them there to get shot, right?
Okay.
And hoping that the burst damage would go through. And I wanted to knock Jin out early.
Sure.
But he rolled the card that gave Jin low profile, which then gave her heavy cover no matter what. So
Spicy.
and then with nimble and all of that other stuff, it wasn't. And then he had duck and cover, so he was. And I think when you play complete the mission, you can put a suppression token on right away.
I believe so.
That
Right.
sounds right.
So he's already looking at heavy cover. And with duck and cover, rolling 2 extra defense dice, no matter what I do. So that kind of blew
does
it
sound
all
very
up.
tanky.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was. And so that kind of blew my strategy up right away.
Abort. We're leaving.
And then the way that the deployments
Back on their
worked out, he ended up putting a Z6 trooper unit and the commandos with the sniper right up into the what was effectively my backfield objective.
All up in your business?
Yeah, and I had 2 snipers and a naked squad sitting on it. So I ended up having to divert a little bit of firepower that way to deal with that, because otherwise he was just going to roll up my flank. So he did a good job of deploying and getting me a little stretched out. So when I tried to do the coordinated fire 3-pip, I wouldn't handle a lot of aim tokens out. So yeah, he did a good job of deploying and playing the card management game. And then Veers is good in a support role, but as a single hero,
He's not charging forward, taking the objective.
I ended up having to make 2 attacks with him and blanked out all of them. Just blanked them out.
Damn.
Like, yeah.
3 white dice, it
Right,
feels bad.
but I mean-
I've seen Veers pull off some amazing shots, though, before.
Right, but I mean, 3 white
it's
dice,
streaky.
it sucks.
Yeah, with complete the mission, you can throw, as soon as you give them an order, you can give them a suppression. So basically, she and the
Right.
the Pathfinders both started with 1 suppression.
Right, so...
Just real quick, John, I didn't hear, how many Wookiees did you bring?
0.
Zero Wookiees.
Does
Zero
Bishtian
Wookiees.
count as kind of a Wookiee? He's like...
He kind of looks like a Wookiee.
A dwarf Wookiee?
A fat, short Wookiee.
Yeah.
That's specious, sir.
But, no,
She's got Wookiee features.
Yeah.
So, really, I mean, with having Jin and the Pathfinders out there, like, I think you have to overcome your initial, like, urge to just, like, throw them out there into the
Right.
fight immediately. You gotta, kind of let...
All right, well, you check marked that one.
Yeah, I mean, that
Good job.
like, deploying behind the cover and then
Yeah.
having you come around.
Yeah.
Having pinned down worked well because that got rid of, part of having that complete the mission is you're only immune to the suppression that turn if you have a face-up order token.
Right. So
by you
shooting
sending
it
that
off,
back into my
yeah.
pool,
Yeah.
it's a pretty good counter to that, whether it's at Jin or at
Right.
at the Pathfinders. I don't know. It may have been better for you to shoot at Jin anyway, even if you wouldn't have been able to do as much damage.
And in retrospect now, I'm thinking, looking back at how our game played out, just where the deployments were and everything. Had I run my LVO list with Vader and I might have been able to get Vader up there early, force pull Jin around that wall, get her into melee early, which would have negated all of her cool stuff.
Yeah.
Because she rolls the extra dice on ranged attacks. Danger sense doesn't kick in, and just make you deal with Vader chopping your face off.
And he would have because like Jin is very good, but even though she has that Tonfa and she does have some decent abilities in close combat, she is not a close combat monster by any means.
No. So I think I'd like to run that game again, similar setup, and try a Vader list and see how that would have worked.
Yeah.
So part of me running that list, and I've crafted one for Jyn and Han, and I've crafted one for Jyn and Leia, or Jyn and Luke as well. Nothing for Jyn and Juice yet, but that
you like a juice?
What about Jyn and Blossoms?
Oh no,
Good
nobody
band.
likes them.
Yeah, no.
Nobody likes Jyn. Jyn Blossoms were outstanding, sir. Hey, Jealousy. Till I Hear It From You. Great songs.
Okay, sorry.
We'll have a discussion about this afterwards.
I guess.
But to go back to that game, basically, yeah, we
go back to
played
the
out 6
90s.
games or 6 rounds. It came down to, I think we
We
shook
called it
hands,
after. Yeah, we called it after round 5 because I just didn't have enough. Dudes.
Yeah.
There was no way that I was going to even be able to
Out of
contest the center
dudes.
objective. So,
So my thought process in having Jyn and Leia together, where you kind of have the Leia for support. She provided all the dodge tokens in the back, and she was able to at least offer the threat of coordinated bombardment. Actually, never used it in that game.
I know,
but having that threat to take out snipers is huge. The list I'm going to run tonight, I'm looking at doing a Jyn Luke list, and I think Jyn and Luke.
That sounds exciting.
Yeah, like it's. I mean, let's be real. Luke is probably the best model in the game. I would have to say, and the LVO results.
Just because you got the Hoth Luke doesn't mean.
Oh, did you bring it?
I didn't bring it. No.
Oh,
I should have brought it.
Suck, dude.
I didn't base it yet because it's gonna look weird if I have a Hoth-based Luke with a whole army of Endor. I'll bring it next time.
They
Don't
work pretty
do it
good
as a
outdoor
Hoth
too.
Luke. Luke got shot down or Luke crashed something in Dagobah. Yeah. Do it
He's
sloppy.
a pilot on multiple
Yeah.
Okay.
planets.
Yeah. Luke has cratered stuff.
Maybe I'll
on
get like an
multiple
exchangeable base
Yeah.
or something like that because I do want to have him on the Hoth base.
Right.
That is the
But-
rules of sci-fi. Is something's always getting shot down on a planet all the time.
Especially with Luke.
Yeah.
But no, so the list I want to run tonight with I'm going to play a game against Daniel. I'm going to run with Luke and Jyn, and I think there's a cool trick that you can do if you get Luke up early enough. Now, I think with Jyn, you really, unless you've got another trick plan with doing the box grab or something.
Do
Try-
Dooku's hate this trick?
Try this one trick to
Yeah.
win this game.
Yeah.
You will be amazed.
I'm not by any means Notorious Scoundrels or Fifth Trooper where they have like analytical discussions and all this stuff. Like I'm very rudimentary with this, but
Clickbait rebels.
yeah.
Yeah.
But with Jyn, I think if you use that 3 pip card right away to give her the low profile, give her the the defensive, throw her out there in front, make her a threat, but also make your opponent really have to dump a lot of firepower into affect her. Use that time to give Luke a chance to get up the field. Second round 2, if you are within range of Luke, play that 2 pip card with her. She gives teamwork. She gets Inspire, and she gives teamwork to the other model that you give the face-up order token to. So you give one to Luke, one to her, and she has Nimble.
And quick thinking.
And quick thinking.
Right.
So if you activate her, she's got teamwork with Luke. You throw a quick thinking out there. He's got a dodge and a name right off the bat.
Yeah.
You stick her out there a little bit. Have somebody if they want to shoot at her. Okay, guess what? She's got Nimble. So every time she gets shot at, she gets rid of that dodge token. She gets a new one. Luke gets one every single time.
Ooh.
Infinite deflect.
So yeah, I mean,
It's sick. It really is.
If your
That
opponent
sounds
doesn't want to
fantastic,
shoot,
yeah.
doesn't shoot at Jyn, which is probably smart. But if you leave her out there as kind of a tempting, like look at me, look what you can shoot at, and you just keep feeding dodge tokens to Luke. Yeah, I mean, then you get him with that order token out there. He's probably going to be within range to charge something.
She sounds like she'd be a lot of fun with Han too.
She would exactly, especially with him having a lot of the same. That's what I'm saying. Like she's got a lot of synergy with all the models.
I hate that word.
I know you do. But then
New T-shirt line coming down. The synergy T-shirts.
and with Han too, and this isn't really like the most points effective thing, but if you were to do Han and Chewie and her that one turn, so much teamwork.
All the teamworks.
All the teamworks.
Making the dream works.
So there's some cool ways to play with her, and honestly, I think that's going to be my next couple weeks is going to be experimenting with different lists with Jyn, and seeing different ways to.
Maybe the Empire would have more synergy if Vader just didn't go around choking all the senior officers.
Valid. Yeah.
Detrimental to team building exercises.
Except for Admiral Carradine. He seemed to like it.
Stop. Oh, boy.
All right, well, we're going to take a quick break, guys, and come back, and we'll talk about some of our previous predictions and see how well those have fared 1 year later.
You're listening to the Legion Outriders podcast, a member of the Radio Free Tatooine Network, recorded on location at Power 9 Games. Whether you're looking for the latest releases from Legion, X-Wing, 40K, Magic, or any of our other extensive inventory of board and card games, head to power9games.com and use coupon code OUTRIDER10 to get 10% off your order. Plus, shipping is free on orders over $100. Now, back to the Outriders.
Welcome back, Outriders. John, Josh, and Matt. We just had our 1 year anniversary last week, so congratulations,
Yay,
guys.
happy birthday to us.
So it's time for our 80s style self-indulgent flashback episode.
Right.
It's like a bad VH1 show.
Remember the 2018s?
Yes.
Now that's what I call a sticky situation.
Remember the pre-release days?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, man.
So I went back and listened to the first couple episodes, and not as cringeworthy as I was expecting.
Oh, that's good.
To be honest. We're still kind of, learning the game out.
Sure.
But I put that as a caveat out there
Black
because
defensive dice.
Dude, that was like episode 15. I should have known better by that point. Shush. Just call me Nostra Dumbass.
Yeah.
Well, I went back and listened to some of our predictions and our hot takes from the game early on.
Do you have a selections?
Yeah, I made a few
Prime cuts.
a few prime cuts. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to go back and listen to our first podcast, here's some of the gems that you may have caught as we were talking about things we want to see in the game.
Ooh.
25 minutes in, Matt first says that he wants to run rocket launchers, the HH-12s, over DLTs.
Oh, yeah. No,
Yeah.
'cause think about it. I mean, you got up to range 4. There's all that impact because vehicles are going to be a huge part of the game. So it just makes sense.
That's basically the gist of what you were saying.
I still remember the arguments without
There's going to be
realizing
so many
how bad.
ATSTs.
Yeah, exhausting. I overestimated the amount of vehicles, and I underestimated the impact of tapping and exhausting cards.
Shortly
But
after
we
that-
still haven't seen, in the fullness of time, the rise of the HH-12.
You're right. You know what? This may end up looking like genius.
Next year.
When we go back and do
yeah.
the 2-year look back, Matt will be
Turns
vindicated.
out, yeah, actually.
Yeah, so this may come back later on and be a smart take, but at the moment, it doesn't look like the best take.
Oh, come on. I don't even run HH-12s. I'm sure there's somebody out there that does it, and it does okay for them.
Well, from about 29 minutes to about 35 minutes, Josh went on our very first
Yeah.
Did we have a rant?
collar-inducing rant.
Command cards,
in the
right?
very
It
first
was
episode?
the order token system.
Uh-huh.
It was not
Oh.
being able to issue orders from, beyond range 3. And
He still stands by that
I do.
statement.
Yeah. The
you
idea.
still don't think it's a good system.
No. I think it's a good system.
Okay.
I just, because game always wins over fluff. It's just, lasers and hyperspace travel, but
Okay,
the long range
I don't want to get it back
link
into this again.
is like 150 feet away.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you're not appreciative
I know.
of the lack of realism, but you understand where it
Oh yeah. It
functions
works.
within the game.
It's elegant. It's simple. I like it. It's fun. It adds a nice strategic
Okay.
layer. But long range comm links should be
Okay.
more than 150 feet.
Yeah.
All right, well, 42 minutes in, I expressed my desire for a generic officer character.
Yay!
Which at 42.10
Matt says
seconds,
that will never happen.
that will never happen.
As a funny side note to that, I still have not made a single list with a generic rebel officer character.
I hope that my predictions end up like everything else in my career, 0-4.
Well, I mean, and to be fair, at that point, they had. I think the devs had said at that point there won't be generic officers. They want it to be a hero-centric game.
I think that was my statement, honestly, because I was
Was
like,
it?
"Oh, Star Wars is a game about heroes."
He
and,
did say that, yeah.
You said that, but I think that had also
Maybe, sure.
out there
I'll share the
percolating
blame.
somewhere
That's fine.
that-
Yeah.
maybe it was in the first interview we did with Alex and Luke. They had said we want a hero-centric game, and generic officers don't fit that.
Sure. they're
Your
like
headcanon be damned.
heroes, all of them, heroes of the Empire.
True. Well, but yeah, I mean, we did see the rebel officer, so
Yeah.
I guess my prediction was accurate. Like I said, I still haven't used it, though.
Yeah, I was going to say, are you actually playing any of
No.
those guys? No, they're going to be for league play and things like
Exactly.
that. Yeah.
43 minutes in, shortly after that, I brought this up first, but we all kind of agreed. Prepare for the flamethrower heavy meta. We all thought that ATRTs with flamethrowers were going to be all over
I
the
give
place.
that a
Spicy chicken
qualified
is-
you know, asterisk.
Yeah. Snow troopers are a thing. I mean, you're not
Yeah.
running
They're a
6 units
staple,
of them,
yeah.
but
But I think we were all advocating for the flamethrower ATRT.
And that is a thing, too.
It is a viable thing.
Yeah.
It's become more of a niche thing. I don't think...
I don't think it ever took over the meta like we were probably expecting it to.
I
back
think
then.
we hyped it up a
I
little
mean,
bit.
it has a named list out there. Sorry about the barbecue.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
Did we see any of those at LVO?
I don't know. I don't remember.
I didn't see any. But so I don't know how competitive it is.
Well, they
Because we're
certainly at the
still
bottom
waiting for
tables,
Notorious
so.
Scoundrels' second part of their strategy review. Get on it, man.
Damn.
Joking. Take
Actually,
your
yeah.
time. Take your time. It's been a week since your first one, but take your time.
No, because they did the Jin and the Pathfinders
I know.
review, so I haven't heard that one yet. A minute
Tom
after
Petty
that,
and the
Matt
Hardmakers.
says, "This is the game I want to play well in competitively."
He still
I
wants
still
to.
want to. So that is 100% accurate. Okay,
Wanting
that's one
and
for
being
me.
able to is two
Yeah.
totally different
Oh
things.
man. Well, I feel like I kicked myself in the taint from like a year ago. Jeez.
What if 2018 Matt were here to talk to you today? What would he say to 2019
You guys are still
Matt?
doing
Sit
this
down,
show?
buddy. We're gonna have a little talk. Yeah.
Wait, this show lasted a year? That's what Matt was saying.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
It's okay.
You're
You know,
braver than
honestly,
I thought.
you're not a bad player,
Oh, stop.
despite what
You're not a good
your
one.
LVO
You know?
Okay. That's
Yeah,
fine.
there you go. Yeah.
Let's see. 47 minutes in, I said that I'm going to play both factions.
Liar.
That
You
was,
have
If I were
once
one time, and it was
played.
It was only
We
for
have
the
the
sake of
results.
doing the podcast.
and you are
Right?
not the father. Yes.
Yeah, so that was a little bit of a lie. I pretty much ended up changing my mind on that like immediately afterwards, and
Can we spin this into from a certain point of view? Because you
think-
did do a list swap at one point.
I did, yeah. And I also think that there were several other times where I said, "Oh, Palpatine and Royal Guard are coming out. I'm going to play it Imperialist now." Nah, I still
We all
never
get
did
very
that.
excited.
You know what we should do? We should do that again. But instead of we make our lists, your opponent makes the list. And just make the most trashy, jank, garbage list for each other and have to play it. That would be
Of
fun.
models
that
that you
idea.
own.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
Yeah, we should
Okay.
do that. Yeah, just rebel, two rebel officers.
You can borrow all my royal guards.
Naked,
Palpatine, Vader, 4 royal guards,
Yeah.
3 naked
Yeah,
stormtroopers.
but actually, I think we should do that for a podcast sometime.
That would be fun.
We'll give the results because not that we're
know.
experts at anything
Right,
anyway,
right.
but that might be pretty good. You've pretty much stayed true to what you said though, because you said that you were going to be an Imperial player all the way.
Yeah.
And Matt, you were leaning heavily towards playing Rebels,
I was. And I did play a lot of Rebels
Yeah.
to begin with.
but I feel like you've probably been the only one that's played both factions of the three of
Yeah,
us.
and I'm definitely going to be pivoting towards Rebels here when the X-34 comes out too.
Just because of the land speeder.
Yeah,
He
because
sits with Splemo.
Yes. Magnum butt for life.
You're still trying to make the vehicles thing work,
I
huh?
want the vehicles to work so badly.
I got a nice tank that's probably going to work.
The style of Rebels that I see coming down the pipe is one that I'm interested in playing,
Okay.
which I think we'll be playing a lot like Dark Eldar, just a lot of fast, stay out of the way, pick your shots, that kind of thing.
Okay.
I want to see Rebels going that route, and I think that they're probably going to get there, so should be a lot of fun.
Well, that kind of brings us to the next and last little bit from that episode.
Is this the best one?
Matt wants to run 2 T-47s.
And I did on multiple occasions.
Well, I feel like that doesn't really coincide with the Matt wants to play well competitively.
I mean, it was a wild time back then. Those
were heady days, right?
So, yeah, I
Right.
was so filled with optimism and hopes for the future. For the grinding of adulthood and reality came crashing down.
Oh.
I mean, but with all these changes that have come down the pipe that kind of passively help out the T-47, Can we not take a second look at them?
Well, that's a good question going forward. What needs to happen to make the T-47 maybe not competitive, but a viable thing that isn't going to make your opponent laugh at you, physically?
That isn't just cutting 40 points off the cost.
Yeah,
because that's an easy answer.
So I think the overlap rule helps a lot.
It definitely. We chatted about that last week, and it being able to stop short and not just plow into things because of compulsory is nice.
And I think the T-47, what hurts it a lot, isn't something that you can factor mathematically.
Sure.
I think that on paper, it's a really good unit.
In a vacuum, yeah.
In a vacuum. If you were to play, a game with only barricades as your terrain, I think, you're going to see it do a lot of work. I think where it really struggles is the minutia of maneuvering on a table that has actual terrain where
real world, situations.
And not even real world, because real world, it's a hovercraft, right? I mean, it's flying. It's not going to be bothered by not having even terrain below it. But because of the fact it's got such a fat base, and there's going to be so many things out there that are just going to prevent it from being able to actually make its full move.
Wonder why they never did like a one of those pizza plastic box inserts with like the 4 pegs and the little circle on top, just giant size for the repulsor vehicle to sit on. So it's got the little 4 legs that take up a lot less real estate on the board.
So it'd have like its Huggy Bear platform shoes?
Something like that,
cool.
Yeah. Just like little spikes, but instead of a large base.
So one of the reasons I don't run it anymore, and I ran it the first game we played.
Beautifully painted too.
Okay, you served that up on a silver platter.
I did.
You sure did.
But this also, because your weapon got blown off on it.
Well, I just flew it out there immediately, and it just got shot up because Daniel was running DLTs, and he had range to it without having to move because I'm an idiot and flew it first thing right away.
Yay!
So now that I've learned the game, if I were to run a T-47, I would run it much differently. But
Wait, you learned the game?
But I learned the game, and I also learned it's really not a great unit anyway. Yeah. But I think that we had a lot of expectations for it right away, just based on what we saw. And I don't know, you play X-Wing, so you understand how flying works a little bit better than what I did coming into the game.
Yeah, I mean, and that's something that I've been a big proponent of in the past on the show. Having that motion sense of predicting 3 moves ahead. Well, if I do this and then do that and I go here's where I'm going to end up, and then ending up there. That's a valuable skill that a lot of X-Wing players have, because you've got very defined movement tools, and you have to predict where your opponents are going to be and where you're going to be at the end of your moves and what your options are. So
luckily for John, his opponent was exactly where he saw they were.
Yeah,
so.
Right.
Yeah. So I think going forward, other than us having to just figure out how to, correctly use it, I think the overlap rule helps. I think that being able to stop short on the mandatory move helps. Mm-hmm.
Weapon disrupted change.
That one I think helps a lot too. And I think the upcoming pilot card that we're going to see in Land Speeder might help too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, being able to short or extend a move is pretty valuable.
Yeah.
Especially in a vehicle, you want to be able to slow roll a little bit. Because speed 3 move on that big of a base, that eats up a lot of real estate, and you have to take that into consideration when you just deploy the unit. You don't want it to do what you did the one time you played it and get it out there first turn, second turn, where you have no support behind it, right?
Yep.
I hate to say it, but I think a lot of the problems with a lot of the heartburn with the T-47 is people just flying it wrong. It's hard to fly correctly.
Sure.
And it's an expensive unit to lose if you don't fly it correctly. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of it, you got to give people 2 or 3 or 4 other things to shoot at.
Yeah, exactly.
What about the ground buzzers?
What about the droid attack on the Wookiees? What about them?
I think that you're right. You hit the nail on the head. I think it's just a matter of target, choice of targets. Mm-hmm. And when that first turn that I played that first game, I flew it out there. I sat it out there, like a clay pigeon at a trap shooting range.
And that's exactly what it blew up like.
Yeah, I mean that was it was the only target out there. Now maybe with having units like Jin and the Pathfinders who can infiltrate and present that first turn threat, getting something out there right away, I think is going to at least make your opponent pick and choose what he's going to shoot at.
Right.
Also, not flying it out there as the very first unit would probably be a good idea as well.
That is also rather smart, yes.
So I think those are some of the options, some of the things that may need to happen in the future to make the T-47 viable. It doesn't change the fact it is still expensive.
It is, yeah. But, I mean, there's expensive units that are effective. I mean, look at Vader, look at Palpatine. They're both north of 200 points. So,
but with Matt was talking about trying to make a Dark Eldar-esque Rebel list. You can't do that when Dark Eldar can do that because they're relatively cheap flyers.
That's fair. Yep.
I mean, you're going to have the option of a land speeder, which is also a heavy, correct? Or a
so
T-47.
you can only put 2 of them in there.
Exactly. So you're only going to be able to have 2, whether it's 2 T-47s, 2 speeders, or one of each. And the land speeder looks like it's going to get expensive once you start adding things to it.
Yeah.
Because it really had nothing on it initially.
It's fair.
So it'll probably still be cheaper than a T-47 once you kit it out.
Sure.
But I don't think it's going to end up being cheap enough where you can run 2 of them comfortably and still have, the ability to max out your core units.
Well, I'm going to do it anyways. But probably not.
You're still not trying to play competitively, are you?
Clearly.
Josh, do you have anything that you think would make a T-47 better? Or
I think I just said it.
If it was Imperial.
Get good.
Yeah.
No. No, I just,
Practice.
Yeah, practice. It's not the most optimum unit in the game by any stretch of the imagination, but it hits like a truck. I mean, damn, I wish I had, that attack to be able to lean back
3
on.
3 red, 3 black.
Yeah, that's, and even now with weapon disrupted, 3 red. Yeah. I mean, that's terrible.
Still definitely a glass cannon, though.
Yeah.
Well, we got Patreon winners this week, huh?
Yeah, it's the end of the month, so we did our drawings.
Thank you, Simon.
Yes. I'm going to be doing that anytime I have to say drawings. But, okay, so our first winner, and this is for the painted model by John, is Tony Sylvie. So congratulations, sir.
All right, Tony.
I've messaged both of these gentlemen in Patreon, so please do respond. And John Griffin got the $25 gift card from Power9Games.com.
Is that
Congratulations,
John Griffin, the winner from LVO?
Is it?
First place? I think it is.
Oh.
Is it?
Well, then he doesn't need it. So.
Yeah.
Well, he's, he just wins all kinds of stuff in Vegas. Also, John Griffin, if you're going to be coming to Vegas anytime soon and want to go to the casinos, I'll come
let's
with you
go,
because since you've already, have proven that you're lucky.
Oh, whoa!
I meant that as the drawing, not the. Okay, whoa! I meant that in the drawing sense, not the actual game. No,
caveat.
Yeah. Sorry.
Wow,
didn't
man.
mean it that way.
We got our first Legion grudge match.
Yeah.
I mean, you can
Mr.
come here
2 and 2 just drops the lucky.
I'm pretty sure he would wreck me by turn 2. So I'm not. That wasn't meant as a cut to your skill, sir.
Just what a lucky guy.
We also have one more thing that we're
that?
going to do for next week's episode.
We're
going to do
real.
One of our first Outrider Q&As.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit last week. And we didn't set up anything in motion. So
Matt is going to go on to the Discord.
Totally, if you remind me later.
Our Patreon. And set up a Q&A tab, and you guys can ask us anything. Ish. We're a family podcast.
I mean, we may not be able to answer all the questions.
And I won't answer any questions about the goddamn Washington Capitals, so no.
Sorry, Darren.
Ask all kinds of questions about the Washington Capitals. All right, guys. Thanks for sticking around with us this week. We will catch you next week.
You've been listening to the Legion Outriders podcast, a member of the Radio Free Tatooine Network.
Only now, at the end, do you understand?
For more from the Outriders, make sure you like us on Twitter @Legion Outriders, subscribe to our Facebook page at facebook.com/Legion Outriders, and make sure you like and subscribe to the podcast. Thanks for listening.
You're all clear, kid. Now let's blow this thing and go home.